I just want to say thank you for the invite, and yeah, I'm just really excited about what today brings. And I'm so proud of Marina and Tony being able to pull this day off. So yeah, let's give them all the thumbs up and encouragement they need, because it's going to be an awesome day. So to crack on with it. So to give you a bit of background about myself, so I am Paul, and I'm the creative director at a multi-award winning digital agency called Elixel, where we help businesses with their digital transformation, and we do this via building apps, websites, branding. I am also one of the co-founders of Digital Plymouth, which is a community interest company, which we set up just over a year ago. And our mission with that was to try and get Plymouth on the map as being a tech cluster, which we've managed to do this year, which is fantastic. And then, just because I like starting businesses, I've got another business that I'm currently looking to do. So this is in partnership with my brother Ed, where we're selling bird sunglasses to help families out in Zambia, Malawi and Uganda, to help give them solar-powered light to last them through the year. And so, as you can imagine, with all these businesses, I have to wear lots of hats. I'm incredibly busy. But yeah, so let's step back a bit. So I'm going to tell you a bit about how my journey started and kind of where I've come on that journey. So I met these colleagues at Plymouth University studying on the Digital and Technology course, and we basically found that every time we came together on our group projects, we produced amazing work, and we actually thought, you know what, we've been doing this for 4 years, we could actually start a business, you know. And so luck has it that in our final year there was this module called Venture Culture, which encouraged you to start a business idea or a product venture. And so we're like, okay, well yeah, let's see if we can pitch in for this. So we pitched our idea to a panel of dragons, and luckily they really liked our idea, and we were able to get a month's free space in the formation zone, which helped us with business mentorship, and it was just it made us find our own 2 feet, so to speak. And over the years, we've so we're in the formation zone, then we went to a place called the Old Heart FM radio building, which was a really fascinating building because half the rooms were soundproof, so it meant that if you had a really stressful day, you could run into one of these rooms and just scream to the world, and no one could hear you, so it was wonderful. And so we were able to take on more clients, get more profit into the business, and so then we ended up moving into a much bigger space in the centre of town, and this is currently where our home is at the moment. Now, the interesting thing about starting our business is that we're all designers, we're all developers, we're all creators. We don't have the foggiest clue on how to run a business, and we had to learn very fast. We had to get mentors, we had to get help from people outside, but also every day you're making these important decisions on the paths you're going to take, the people you're going to hire, the work you're going to do, and that's kind of what my talk is about today, hence the talk title, Decisions. And so it wasn't just external help we got, we also had to study ourselves, so it was a case of a bit of self-discovery. So earlier this year I've been absolutely hooked on podcasts. So there's Tim Ferriss, who's got like 1 million podcast channels, which they're all really inspiring, and these are a couple of the books that I've been reading just to help help to gain my knowledge more in the business world and see if I can understand people and how we're running this. And that made me stumble across this guy, Derek Sivers. Now this guy is awesome. He's so inspirational. He does a lot of TED Talks. He's got a lot of awesome, crazy ideas. He's run lots of businesses. He does business advice all around the world. But this guy really inspired me because I was listening to one of his podcasts and I was just like, yeah, that's amazing. And he talks about how to make big life decisions or how to make better big life decisions. And the way you do this is by incorporating happy, smart, and useful. And he said it's very rare, or actually it's quite common that you forget one of these elements when you're making a decision. So whether it's happy decision, a smart decision, or whether it's useful. And so let's dig a bit deeper into this. So you've got smart and useful. Now, a case for this, or an example of this, is a parent going to their kid and saying, you must go to this school, you must study these topics, we've got to get you into this school, and this is how things are going to go for you, without giving the kid any choice in the matter. Now, that could be a smart and useful trait, but is it what the kid wants to do? Is it going to make them happy? And as Derek Sivers goes on to say, happiness is the oil that fuels the engine, and it's what motivates you and keeps you going, and what gets you out of bed in the morning most of the time. And so it's not a bad thing just to be smart and useful, but it's worth considering these traits. And so let's try it the other way. So happy and smart. Now the example of this is someone that's self-indulged. They're only thinking about themselves. So I mean, I'm a bit of a hypocrite telling this one because I do this quite a lot actually, where I'm literally just self-indulged. I'm not thinking about anyone else. I want to just read books and get smarter, but I'm not necessarily doing anything useful with my time, and I'm not really progressing anyone else in the world or helping anyone else out and adding that value. And so let's try it the other way. So happy and useful. So this is an example of this is someone in a job that neither wants to progress or fall back or wants to do anything. They're just stuck in their ways, and there's no career progression. They're just going through the motions. And another example of this is you're a musician and you're playing in a club, and you play your music, but you never ever produce a good record label or anything like that makes you stand out from anyone else. And so those are a couple of examples. And it's a shame because it's basically not unlocking your true potential as a person. And so without that, it's without having that passion behind what you do, then it's a shame. And then there's just happy. Now everyone wants to be just happy. I think I want to be just happy, but there is a flaw with just being blindlessly happy, and that is you either end up like Gary Hunt in the other room, or you don't prepare for what's coming ahead, and you end up coming across this guy in your journey to come, and you're like, oh gosh, I've been so fixed on what I've been doing today, and I haven't actually thought about or planned ahead in my life and where I'm actually going with things. So it's neither smart nor useful, but you are happy in your cocoon. So it's being prepared. And so this is basically the method that Derek Sivers talks about. So what makes me happy, what's smart in the long term for me, and what's useful. And what's really interesting, and what I find fascinating about this method, is how you can apply it to not just big life decisions, but you can apply it to the really small things that you do in business that matter. And so, to give an example of this, when you go to write an email, have you ever, before you push the send button, have you stopped to think, actually, will this make the other person happy? Will it make me happy sending this email? Is it smart? is it going to create a long-lasting relationship for me and that person? Is it useful? With the information that they take from this email and the information I'm giving them, is it going to be useful for them and for me? And so if it ticks all those boxes, send the email. If it doesn't, then yeah, maybe you can rewrite it to incorporate all those elements. Another example is, and it's what we do at Elixel actually, is another template is the Scotsman test, but this is a lot simpler, is when you take on a project. So when a client comes to you and says, oh, I really want to, I want you to build my website or an app. Now, if you take a step back and say, okay, right, well, is doing this project going to make us happy? Are we going to enjoy doing this project? Yeah, okay, fantastic. Again, is it a smart decision? Is it going to bring money into the business? Is it going to push our business forward in innovation, in team size, all of that? Yeah, okay, fantastic. Is it useful? But not only is it useful for our business and the client, but is it useful for the end user that's actually using this product that they want created? Because clients can often forget about the end user who's going to use the product. And so making it useful and relevant to the user is very important. And so it's a nice way of measuring whether you take on that client or not. And so I actually use this technique for today's talk because I wanted to think, okay, it's a bit last minute, but is it a smart decision to do a last minute talk at a conference? So I said, yes it is, because it gives me a chance to get exposure, it gives me a chance to share my story with you and my journey. Is it useful? I'm hoping you're all nodding your heads and going, yes it is. Yeah, and I hope it is useful to you. And it's useful to me because it's a good learning experience. And happy. Yes, it makes me really happy because I absolutely love what I do and I like to share what I do with people. And my hope is today that you can all go away after my talk and make better decisions in your business and in life through using that method. And for that, I want to say thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much. That was definitely smart and useful. Does anyone have any questions for Paul? Come on, I'm sure someone's.
Thank you, I really enjoyed that. This is not intended to be a tricky question, but I'm genuinely interested because I think that's a really useful metric when trying to make decisions. But that's brilliant in an ideal scenario, but how do you prioritise which one of those things you jettison if it's simply not possible to make a decision that's happy, smart and useful? How do you decide which one has to go?
Okay, so I'm going to fire a question back to you. Why do you feel that something needs to go?
I just mean, like, let's say that your company is struggling and you've got you've got pressures somewhere that are coming from. So doing a particular item of work won't make you happy, but you need the money. How do you, for small business particularly, how do you balance that when you know it's not going to make you happy? Is it about longer term? Yes, it will make me happy in long term because I'll eat tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's one
well, yeah, it is exactly that. I mean, everything we do in life is a stepping stone onto the next thing. And if slogging it hard to begin with, doing a lot of smart and usefulness to get to the point where you can incorporate all three and you're living a dream, you're doing your dream job, or where you are happy, smart and useful, then yeah, it's planning ahead. So essentially you could say that is focusing purely on the smart and useful side. But yeah, it's a stepping stone, I would say.
The way I work for a small business and we do sometimes turn away work, but the way we work is we kind of, when we have our year planning meeting, we set ourselves almost a quota of we'll take this many jobs that are boring but will pay well, or that kind of thing. So we don't end up saying yes to everything we don't want to do, but we also aren't turning money away.
Yeah.
But then it's quite hard to stick to if we're having a really cash flow month.
I suppose you know how much boring but pays well work will stop making you happy, so you have to set the limit there, don't you?
Yeah.
questions? No? Perfect. Thank
Cool.
you so much.
Thank you guys.